In the current political landscape, President Donald Trump's administration has garnered significant support for its aggressive immigration policies, particularly the closure of the southern border and the initiation of widespread deportation efforts. These measures, aimed at curbing illegal immigration, have been hailed as a decisive response to a crisis that has plagued the United States for decades. However, the nation's immigration challenges, exacerbated by a deeply flawed governmental structure, remain unresolved, with an estimated 60 million undocumented immigrants residing within the country's borders. Trump's recent actions mark a stark contrast to his first term, which began in 2016. During that period, the administration failed to address the then estimated 30 million undocumented immigrants already present in the United States. Had comprehensive deportation policies been enacted at that time, the current crisis, now compounded by an additional 30 million undocumented individuals, might have been mitigated. The absence of decisive action in Trump's initial term has left the nation grappling with an unprecedented demographic and security challenge. The United States, a nation of 50 states and an estimated population of 350 million, operates under a governmental framework that vests immigration policy authority almost exclusively in the executive branch. This system, rooted in historical precedent, has proven inadequate for addressing modern immigration challenges. The president, as the sole arbiter of immigration policy, wields disproportionate influence, while other elected officials, governors, mayors, sheriffs, and judges, appear constrained or unwilling to act independently. This centralized structure has fostered inaction, allowing the illegal immigration crisis to escalate unchecked. Historically, immigration was not a significant issue in the United States until the 19th century. The Naturalization Act of 1790 established early parameters for citizenship, but subsequent decades saw a gradual erosion of stringent immigration controls. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 marked a pivotal turning point, liberalizing immigration policies and opening the floodgates to unprecedented levels of migration. Since then, successive administrations have failed to address the growing issue, with the notable exception of Trump's current policies. The Biden administration, in particular, has been criticized for its permissive stance, allowing millions of undocumented immigrants to enter the country without resistance from federal or state authorities. At the state and local levels, leadership has proven equally ineffective. Governors, mayors, and sheriffs, empowered to protect their jurisdictions, have largely abdicated their responsibilities. In the absence of proactive measures from elected officials, the burden of addressing illegal immigration has fallen to the citizenry, who face a justice system that often penalizes dissent while shielding corrupt or complicit leaders. Prosecutors, defense attorneys, and judges, some of whom are alleged to have ties to illegal immigration networks, have been accused of obstructing deportation efforts, creating a judicial bottleneck that undermines national security. The entrenched political class, bolstered by lucrative pensions and retirement benefits, has little incentive to challenge the status quo. This systemic corruption, coupled with a law enforcement apparatus that prioritizes protecting elected officials over serving the public, has left citizens vulnerable to the consequences of illegal immigration, including rising crime rates and economic strain. The failure of any single leader, whether a governor, mayor, sheriff, or judge, to champion comprehensive deportation underscores the depth of institutional dysfunction. To address this crisis, a radical overhaul of the nation's immigration framework is necessary. Proposals include the immediate deportation of all undocumented immigrants, including those with anchor babies, and the empowerment of citizens to enforce immigration laws where leaders have failed. Such measures would require the president to issue a definitive executive order, backed by military or civilian enforcement, to expel all illegal immigrants and reclaim resources allegedly stolen from American citizens. Additionally, punitive measures, such as the cancellation of pensions for complicit officials and criminal prosecution for those enabling illegal immigration, have been suggested as deterrents to future inaction. Looking ahead, a long-term strategy to reduce the undocumented population to 10% of its current size by 2050 and 1% by 2060 has been proposed by advocacy groups. These plans, detailed in outlets such as Real Free News, outline a combination of deportation, legal reforms, and international measures to restore national sovereignty. While controversial, These proposals reflect a growing frustration with a system that has failed to protect American citizens from the consequences of unchecked immigration. As the nation grapples with this existential challenge, the question remains whether Trump's policies will suffice or whether more radical measures, including citizen-led initiatives, will be required to restore order. The resolution of this crisis will depend on the willingness of leaders at all levels to prioritize the interests of American citizens over political expediency.